Hello and welcome everybody to a very special video. I hope you're doing good, and we're going to talk about a couple things. Farv, we're going to talk about Warhammer's pointless rebranding and their svelte Gym Bro orc. Are you ready for that?
Uh, are we actually going to talk about how many times we've had to talk about this?
Okay, quick inside the business thing. This is the third or fourth time we've recorded this due to technical problems because the footage got corrupted. So we're gonna try, guys. We're not gonna sound as what we had a couple really good ones. It's gonna be a bit less fun. But let's
Yeah.
talk about the rebranding, or as I call it, marketing gone wild, brother. I gotta say, when I saw the Warhammer color, I immediately thought, wow, wow, marketing has way too much sway.
Oh, that was bad enough until you see the ad for it.
The ad's insulting to both because it tries to pass it off as it's this bodder that people just don't know, but it's a straight up insult by basically calling you an idiot. And honestly, calling their new audience an idiot and asking you to leave effectively.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Um, let me say, I don't think this helps anyone. It's not something I'm going to get really angry about, but I'm going to point out this is pure branding, brand synergy BS that you would see out of basically any marketing department that just was way too obsessed with.
It's your standard issue corporate marketing douchebaggery where they're so shoved up their own fucking corpo fucking colon that they think everyone in the world is dumber than they are.
Well, what I think it comes down to is they sat there because only marketing will do this and sat there going, how can we make sure people understand that the Citadel paint is actually a Warhammer? And you go, you assume because it's the only paint that they're selling in the store?
Yeah, it's like if you go to actual Warhammer stores, and if you do, I apologize, because usually it's not a great idea.
At least in the
But if you
States.
do, it's just, you already know what you're there for. You went to a Warhammer store. You're obviously there for Warhammer things. And the fact that this ad is supposed to apparently portray a Games Workshop store employee, manager or whatever, he shouldn't be having to explain this.
Well, let me be honest. It's okay to have to explain to grandma who's buying
Yeah,
something. If you're getting that upset because grandma doesn't know, then maybe
what a
you shouldn't be
Citadel paint
working in
is, yeah.
customer service, just to put it
Mm-hmm.
that way.
Because you're
Um,
shit at your job.
honestly, it's going to achieve nothing. It does nothing, and it's stupid. And honestly,
That and like the packaging, and I'll cite Arch on this one. Apart from the fact that the packaging is the dumbest, most generic crap you can get, this rebrand does nothing to address the base problems with Citadel paint, being that the pots are deliberately designed to make you fucking have to replace them.
careful, Farv, careful. You're gonna get me labeled with "he who shall not be named," and then my career is over. They'll be like, "You're a shill for the Barch."
Huh.
I don't care. Here's the thing. Honestly, I looked at it and I thought, wow, it's just one more
Pardon
thing
me.
that they cleaved all personality out of, and now want you to spend even more money. Because it's not going to help with the
Mm-hmm.
the brand recognition. It's not going to help with the product quality. And the one thing that they could have done that would have been an easy win for a lot of people, except for maybe Shades, is put most of the paints in droppers. Done. But they're not going to do
Yeah.
that because this is about brand synergizing BS because the marketing team has too much leeway,
And
too
that
much
is
time,
BS
and too
because
much
brand
power.
synergizing is already a bullshit concept to begin with.
Well, 40 years they've had the line effectively, and I know it's not exactly 40, but
Whatever.
you know what I'm saying.
Oh,
Um,
I know who you're addressing with that.
there are people who get really upset. I don't remember the exact number of years right off the bat, but the thing is, it's been this for a long, long
Mm-hmm.
time. The idea of changing it and somehow this is going to bring more brand recognition is just complete
Absurd.
absurdity. So I'm gonna put this as a thumbs down, kind of stupid and pointless, but exactly what I expect GW to do. What do you give it, Farv?
I'll give it a jackpoint shit on the give a fuck a meter.
Farv's for the military, so he gives it a very poor score for anyone that's new. Uh, oh, let's see. Okay, let's talk about the Swelt Jim Bro Orc real quick.
Jim, bro, the
I
Pixar war
Yeah, you know
boss.
what? I'm gonna put it this way because you keep calling him the Pixar war boss, and what I keep having sum it up in my mind is the Highlander cartoon that Canada did to us,
You know what?
and
But that had at least designs that were doing their own thing. This just literally looks like some Pixar artist made an orc war boss. It's
well,
all shiny and clean looking and shit. It's all dumbed down. The design is too. It's too. What's the word I was thinking for? Restrained for an orc. It's just weird.
it removes a number of elements. Like I'm gonna say, but what I was gonna say is effectively one thing with Canadian cartoons is they were infamous with kind of altering or having something that didn't look at all like the thing it was supposed to be. And
Uh,
honestly, I was gonna say he's cartoony in all the wrong ways, and I find that kind of frustrating. Because honestly, the model on a technical level's done fine. It's at least has
I don't
ideas of
really.
being an orc,
Yeah, I don't
but
really know if this is the sculptor's fault because the way they've tried to kind of been trying to push Warhammer in a new direction, in direct quotation marks. It seems to me like they actually deliberately went to the sculptor and this was their directive for the design.
I'm gonna definitely say that it feels cartoony in all the wrong ways. It's like a Pixar interpretation of an orc, like you said earlier. And
Mm-hmm.
honestly, it's like they downplayed all the weapon seems smaller than it should be for an orc. The the size of him is kind of weird, and honestly, it's like they downplayed all the parts they thought were, how shall I say, too hostile, and they
Mm.
upplayed all the parts that just seemed like they weren't that much of a thing. But I think we can clearly say that the aesthetic has definitely been getting changed with Warhammer, and it's getting clear to about everyone, I'd hope, that this has become a thing. Because, I mean, we've had Mark III, Mark II, even Mark VI to a degree getting altered and having this kind of aesthetic change. But I
Yeah.
don't know. For the orc, it seems like they took all of the orky bits out of him and just focused on him being a large green guy, and that was the extent of it. Because that gun just feels like dinky. It seems
Yeah, for like an orc combi gun, it just, I don't know, something's off.
it's a clear change in aesthetics, and I'm not sure I'm on board with it, honestly. But again, personal taste. Honestly, you know what? I'm going to say this. I think this is the best way for me to sum it up without like rambling on too long. Is
Hmm.
it feels to a large extent that Warhammer is just losing what made it Warhammer, and it's
So
being in
all sense of
control.
identity.
Yeah, it just feels like what made it Warhammer is being bled out of it and replaced with ideas of what someone who didn't like Warhammer wanted Warhammer to be. I mean, how long before they start apologizing that about the Warhammer name and talking about how much they regret it because it just makes them feel uncomfortable, and we get
So
to
that it can just
Therapy
become like
Hammer.
World of Warcraft and be a Pixar-fied cozy game.
Yeah, so we can get the Therapy Hammer.
God,
You know how it goes, Farv.
I do.
I don't know. Is there anything you'd like to add? I
I've
mean,
got
you're the
nothing
big
left.
orc guy.
Yeah, but you know what? I've been out even with the orcs because Games Workshop as a company has handled everything in such a complete, blatant dog shit fuck yourself, actual fan base manner. I just don't care anymore. Like I said, the only Warhammer stuff I've looked at recently is like some of the decent third party stuff like the Bolt Gun games. I just don't care anymore.
Well, that's fair. And honestly, guys, if you do like this stuff, throw a comment down. It's not engagement farming. Just actually want to know what people who like this are thinking and why they like it. And if you don't like it, honestly, let us also know because holy cow, it just feels like every year, every release takes a little bit more out of what Warhammer was and replaces it with something that just feels distinctly different. It just feels I'd almost call it the Warcrafting of it, but it doesn't even really feel like that, honestly, because even with how much they've bled the Warcraft out of Warcraft, the designs are at least mostly on point as opposed to
Until you get to those cozy game ads,
look
and then everything looks wrong.
that Zillow ad is I don't
Oh no!
know.
At least they were using the in-game graphics for that. I'm talking about that when they were their own one, where they were advertising their stupid
Oh,
cozy game housing shit, where everything literally looked like a Pixar fucking cartoon.
so we'll stop there because we're gonna immediately launch into a complete rant
Yeah.
about Warcraft. Sorry, guys. Oh, shouldn't cough and sneeze at the same time.
No,
But
it's not great.
thanks to everyone for checking us out. If you like Farv and his, let's say, unvarnished way of throwing things, he's got a channel. What's that channel called, Farv?
Yeah, it's Farvithian Guard, and it'll be at Farvithian on Twitter.
He's
Thanks for
also wrote
checking
a
us
book.
out.
You can find it on Amazon. Good thing I'm doing the commercials, right? Okay, everybody, have
Wow.
a fantastic day, and hopefully this one renders. Bye bye.
Oh.